I'm Daytona Beach Mayor Derrick Henry. Thank you for joining me for this year's State of the City address. It's always my honor to discuss where we were yesterday, where we are today, and where we are headed tomorrow. I'm pleased to serve as your mayor for another 4 years. Joining me on the City Commission are Ruth Traeger, Aaron Delgado, Juanita May, newcomer Stacy Cantu, Danette Henry, and Paula Reed. The unprecedented events which unfolded during the past 12 months affected everyone in our community. Every segment of society has been touched by the worldwide pandemic. Our children, families, employees, seniors, as well as businesses, healthcare and public safety professionals, entire industries, not to mention local, state, and federal governments. We know the government closest to the people is the one that can react and adapt the quickest. And that's exactly what we've done in Daytona Beach. As elected officials, we're often forced to make difficult and often unpopular decisions. Since the very beginning, the city of Daytona Beach took the pandemic seriously. We struggled with decisions which balanced the health of our residents with the reality of keeping businesses open and workers employed. The city first issued a local state of emergency in March, and it has been in effect ever since. We created a COVID Assistance Recovery Effort, or CARES program, which offered financial aid to our residents and businesses. Water customers saw credits on their statements in April, saving them $4 million. Application fees for building permits were waived for 6 months, starting in March, which kept construction projects moving ahead and thousands of tradesmen working. We've offered financial assistance to more than 1,000 households in our rental program. In the second week of March, we made the difficult decision to pull permits for the last night of Bike Week. And in the fall, we didn't issue permits for Biketoberfest. In June, we were the first city to issue requirements for face masks, and we were the first city to host a public COVID-19 testing site in an underserved community. To expand outdoor seating for restaurants, the city relaxed restrictions in the Land Development Code. Concerts resumed at the Oceanfront bandshell using newly established socially distanced safety protocols. We're certainly not finished with dealing with the pandemic as we continue to partner with the Florida Department of Health on hosting additional vaccine distribution clinics. The coronavirus wasn't the only headlining topic of the year that we addressed head-on and collectively. Civil unrest, police brutality, and social injustice made national headlines. The deaths of George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, and others, coupled with a deep history of racial injustice in America, elicited a national response from people of all colors and backgrounds. Deep political divides and discourse dominated conversations. There's no doubt there have been struggles and challenges, but together we must move forward while protecting our health, liberties, and safety. To begin the conversation, I launched a community-wide equity initiative to encourage thought-provoking conversations with dozens of community leaders and residents to establish sensible approaches aimed at addressing and confronting the scourge of racism and the bane of injustice. These committees are continuing to meet virtually on a regular basis. I've always supported the men and women of the Daytona Beach Police Department. They're well-trained and highly professional. Over the summer, we established a Citizens Police Review Board to offer an independent review of complaints about our police department and to add a layer of oversight and transparency. In November, Deputy Chief Jakari Young was sworn in as the department's new chief, taking the reins from Chief Craig Capri. Chief Young is the city's first African-American police chief. He rose through the ranks and has served Daytona Beach for 20 years. He is wholly committed to our community. I am confident he will lead the Daytona Beach Police Department with integrity, passion, and diligence. As in previous State of the City addresses, enough cannot be said about the city's growth, job creation, and economic development. Daytona Beach continues to lead the way in attracting new investment. The private sector is expanding in established areas of our city and to the west along the LPGA corridor. In our downtown area, we celebrated the completion of the Beach Street Streetscape. This signature beautification and safety project widened sidewalks, added parking, reduced driving lanes, installed better lighting, and reconstructed the decorative arches. Good news when the Daytona Tortugas announced they were remaining at Jackie Robinson Ballpark. The Tom stayed Veterans Memorial Bridge reopening after being closed for almost 4 years. The $60 million headquarters for Brown & Brown being completed, and hundreds of employees starting to move in. The $23 million re-imaging of the Riverfront Esplanade along the Halifax River is well underway. The Saturday morning farmers market relocated from City Island to Magnolia Avenue. Additional segments of the Sweetheart Trail were completed or are under construction, and a new public dock and boat access ramp were reconstructed at Bethune Pointe. The city initiated a program to remove dangerous and unsightly derelict boats from the Halifax River, and the multi-million-dollar utility project, which is expanding capacity of our sewer system, is underway on South Beach Street. In our Midtown area, the city continues to make substantial improvements to aging infrastructure. The reconstruction of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard from Orange Avenue to International Speedway Boulevard was completed in 2020. This was a top priority for the City Commission for many years, and I'm happy to say it's been completed. The roadway and sidewalks look much improved, and underground utilities, what you can't see, have been upgraded, and reclaimed water service was expanded to residents and businesses. A smaller, but just as important streetscape, Dr. Mary McLeod Bethune Boulevard, is nearing completion. New trees and leveled pavers are part of the improvements, along with new benches and trash receptacles. The city's popular public swimming pools, the Cypress and Campbell Aquatic Centers, have been or are being upgraded to add new amenities. Henry Lee Park off of Bellevue Avenue underwent a complete transformation, and the gym floor at the Midtown Cultural and Educational Center was resurfaced. Other public areas seeing renovations were Sunnyland Recreation Center and Tuscaloosa Park. In other areas of our city, we've made steady improvements to public spaces, like adding a new ball field and parking lot at Derbyshire Sports Complex and remodeling Suburbia Park. On our beach side, the century-old windows and doors of the historic Peninsula Club were replaced. The fishing section of the Daytona Beach Pier was repaired. Improvements were made to the public restrooms at Breaker's Oceanfront Park. And bathrooms and the kitchen at Snevely Rec Center were renovated. And there is fresh landscaping, and the exterior of the building was painted. And at intersection of International Speedway Boulevard and Atlantic Avenue, the Florida Department of Transportation canceled a plan for a roundabout for a more traditional intersection. Development in the LPGA area continues as this part of our city continues to grow. There's a multitude of new housing options and new retail businesses and restaurants. I anticipate this corridor remaining a high growth area for quite some time. This new growth allowed the City Commission to reduce property taxes last year. In fact, we were able to reduce the millage rate below the rollback rate, which saved taxpayers about $1.8 million. Thank you for joining me for this year's State of the City. I hope you agree that there has been much accomplished in 2020, and I look forward to meeting the challenges for a productive 2021. I want to thank City Manager Jim Chisholm and staff for making Daytona Beach a more proactive, stronger, safer, more resilient community. God bless America. God bless the great city of Daytona Beach. And God bless each and every one of you.